Freddie Kasha, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Staten Island Comedy Show. We're going to have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned. It's a virtual show. We have comedians to perform their stand-up sets on location, and you will see them right here on the Staten Island Comedy Show. And first up is a performance coming from Nashville, Tennessee. The Rock Scene Nashville, which is a television show, and here is a live sneak preview of what's to be coming down the pike in the very near future. And here it is. He's a singer-songwriter, Danny Nova. He will be performing with his band an impromptu jam of his song, Do What You Do, at his River House in Nashville. He says this is the first time these cats have ever heard of it. They followed his hands and movements to catch it. Members of the band are drums, Richie Honori of Sweet, Martin Motnick of Accept, guitar, Devin Pangle, formerly of John Fogerty, currently with the band Dorothy's. Vocals, Danny Nova Faulkner of the Danny Nova Band. Our next guest, Danny Nova and the Danny Nova Band, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey everybody, Staten Island Comedy Show. Greetings from Nashville. This is for you, we love you guys. Shake that body, baby. Shake that body good. Do what you do. Show that body, baby. Show that body good. Do what you do. 'Cause you look so fine. Well, you feel so fine. But my kids all over you. And if you don't mind, if it's so kind, I love to be one with you. I love you more than I love myself. I really do. Spend my time dreaming about only you. 'Cause you know what you do. What you do, what you do. Work that body, baby. Work that body good. Do what you do. Slap that body, baby. Slide that body good. Do what you do. You feel so fine when you sleep in time. I love to make love to you. You're so kind, you just blow my mind. No one can compare to you. Love you more than I love myself. I really do. Spend my time dreaming of only you. 'Cause you know what you do. What you do. What you do. Take it.
guys. Let me introduce the man, Staten Island. Here we go. We got Richie O'Nori on drums from Sweet. Okay, we got Martin from the band called Accept, the European famous band. Accept. Over here. We got Devin, and Devin is known for playing with Dorothy, right?
Yeah, Dorothy.
And John Fogerty. And then I'm Danny Nova, signing off. See you soon.
We'll be back, guys.
We'll be back. We will be back.
Thanks, Danny. That was awesome. Now I would like to introduce to you a new segment on the virtual show called The Best of the Staten Island Comedy Virtual Show. This is a segment I bring back from one of my previous shows, one of the best acts, and replay it here in this segment. Our first guest in this segment is comedian Fred Bevill. You can find Fred on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Fred Bevill. His website is fredbevill.com. Our next comedian of the show, Fred Bevill, ladies and gentlemen.
I now live in Fargo, North Dakota. Thank you. When people from New Jersey are like, why? It's a fair question. I got me one of these. Yeah, bling, bling. Sorry, lady. They're looking at me like, no problem. We're good. I've been doing stand-up comedy most of my adult life. You put me in any major U.S. city, Miami, New York, Chicago, L.A., I'm just a chubby guy losing his hair. You put me in Fargo, North Dakota? I'm hot. I'm a catch in Fargo. You should move there. I wear collared shirts. I have my own teeth. And I can say more to a woman than just get in the truck. Applaud if you hunt. Who applauded back there? You did, sir. What's your name, my friend? Dennis, nice to meet you. Where do you live? South Jersey. I know people from Jersey. What the hell are you hunting? You don't want to eat that kill, I'll tell you that. My favorite couple so far is a couple named Eugene and Donna. They are celebrating 42 years of marriage on this cruise. Pretty impressive, isn't it? I had lunch with them at the Garden Buffet earlier, and I found out after about 20 minutes of conversation, they've hated each other for 40 of those years. That was their attitude. Well, he said, till death do you part, a deal's a deal. Finally, I asked Donna, I go, Donna, sincerely, 42 years, you never once thought of leaving him? She looked me dead in the eye and said, I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. Plus, I think I could outlast him. State Farm pays the winner. If you've done wine tastings, you know how they work. They put you in a little group and you just kind of go down the row. But there's always that one guy that wants to make it known he's the expert in the group. He wants to pontificate his wine knowledge onto everybody else, the amateur sommelier. He'll sip the wine. Bold and sophisticated. Sassy and whimsical. He did this like 4 times. I finally had it. I was like, yeah, awful but free. Shut up. And he goes like this. He goes like this. Can you taste the oak finish? What are you, a termite? I taste wood, drink is over. That's what it was. My dad was a tough old bird, man. He did not like give me a trophy for getting out of bed in the morning. My dad spent 28 years in the United States Marine Corps. He toured Vietnam 3 separate times. And he spent most of his military career as a drill instructor. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, man. Childhood was intense. I was 12 years old when I found out my name was not Maggot. But the biggest perk to being an only child is we don't have to deal with the torture you folks and with siblings had to deal with. Yeah. You spent your whole childhood killing each other. Playing stupid games like I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. Mom can't get mad, I'm not touching you. Or punch buggy. Some of you know what is slug bug. You see a Volkswagen driving down the road. Punch buggy! Just a license to beat up a loved one, wasn't it? I tried to play that game with my dad once. Hey, Dad, punch buggy! He was not amused. Drove me to a Volkswagen dealership and beat the crap.
That was great, Fred, and truly one of the best acts that was on the show. Our next comedian is Eric Seltzer. Eric is a comedian / impersonationist. He is also an actor, and he had a part in the TV series Blue Bloods. Also was in the movie called Devil Wears Prada, and in the short film called Protecting Tony. His website is ericseltzeractor.com, and you can find him on Facebook, Eric Seltzer. Our next comedian of the show, Eric Seltzer, ladies and gentlemen.
By the way, I've been married almost 31 years in August to the same woman. Thank you very much. And, you know, but I'll tell you, there's only really one thing missing after being married that long. Free will. And, you know, my wife and I were very different. I mean, she's a clean freak, I'm not. I mean, I'm the last one to get up in the morning. I'll make the bed. She'll say, these pillows are not done properly. I'm like, we have 10 frickin' pillows on the bed. I mean, is the photo shoot with House and Garden magazine at 10 or 10:30? And if I'm the last one in the kitchen, I'll clean up the kitchen. The kitchen looks great, but she'll find a breadcrumb. Why is this breadcrumb on the floor? I don't know, human error. And when we travel, my wife's #1 priority is shopping, shopping, shopping. I mean, can you imagine if we're on the Titanic? I'd be like, oh my God, the ship just hit an iceberg, we're sinking. She'd be like, oh my God, I gotta get to the gift shop and get those kids those Titanic t-shirts. Should I get blue or pink? I'm like, you're going to the gift shop to get a Titanic t-shirt? Go see if they have a Titanic life jacket, any size. And like at the end of the movie of Titanic, it'd be like, you know, I'd be like Leonardo DiCaprio hanging onto this door. She'd be on the top of the door. And I'd be like, And the last thing I would hear her say, oh my God, there's a scratch on this door. You know, as I start the countdown to teetering into antiquity, I'm thinking about, you know, like what all Jews do, retire to Florida. But I'm a little apprehensive. You know, the hospitals down there, it's like being on Gilligan's Island, I think. I mean, I'm used to a good New York hospital. I have a friend who's like 10 years older than me. He was down there, and he was drugged up. He told me this story. And he was like, he's trying to get the nurse's attention. He's like, all right, whack. Nurse said, what the hell? All right, whack. Sir, did you just ask me if your testicles are black? Okay, let me check you out. Okay. Let's lift the gown. Okay, you got a schmeckle. That's another conversation. No, they're pinkish. You know, you also got a chia pet down there. You thinking about trimming, sir? So anyway, okay. You know, let me wash my hands. Let me straighten out your mask. Nurse, I'm trying to ask you, are my test results back? You know, I have a lot of time on my hands. I always wonder certain things, quirky things like, you know, in the last 50 years, aside from listening to the All in the Family, the toilet, nobody's taken a bathroom break on television. That's like unrealistic, isn't it? So I wondered, what would it be like if Captain Kirk had to take a bathroom break on the original Star Trek series? Spock, it's time to take the con. I need to go to the camp. Well, Captain, the Klingons are about to attack and annihilate the Enterprise. It would be illogical for you to do. Spock, you don't understand. When you gotta go, and I really gotta go. But Captain, never mind. Captain's log, I'm not talking about the one, I'm not talking about the journal, I'm talking about one's going down my leg. I can't believe I'm about to say this, you dumbass Vulcan. But sewing my pants on the Enterprise proves I've finally gone where no man has gone before. And lastly, because I'm getting the light, I think that if horror movies were made now, certain horror movies wouldn't be able to be made the way they are because of this woke culture we're in. If Nightmare on Elm Street was made today, I think it would be called Nightmare on Elm Street Part 10, Dream Millennials, and you have Freddy Krueger going, I'm not gonna kill you, I'm gonna kick you out of mommy and daddy's house. I'm gonna make you pay rent, utilities, car insurance, and Easy Pass, you entitled bitch. Thank you very much, I'm Eric Seltzer.
Thanks, Eric. That was awesome. Our next comedian is Jorjja Metz. She is a very funny lady from Westchester County. You can find her on Facebook under the name Jorjja I'd Rather Not Say, on Instagram under the Comic in the Crowd. Our next comedian of the show, Jorjja Metz, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, I'm Jorjja, and I want you to know that nobody dies laughing in my audience because I know CPR. Yes, I am a registered nurse, and I'm currently a retired nurse, but what the hell, if a guy falls in front of me, like we say, it's hard to meet somebody online, so I'll meet them on the sidewalk. So I'll resuscitate him, I might get a date at him, God only knows. So working in the ICU, I dated a lot of doctors. I dated a plastic surgeon, but he was always trying to tuck me in, and we wasn't even bedtime. I dated anesthesiologists, but I told them we'll get together, I didn't feel a thing. I dated a radiologist, but he only saw the negative side of life. I dated an ophthalmologist, but I didn't agree with his treatment of my eye condition. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's at the bottom. The head is one. So the doctor said to me, Jorjja, how do your eyes feel? You know, they don't feel so bad, but I can't really see anything, Doc. I said, you know what? Don't worry. I won't tell anybody. People ask me, my patients ask me, what doctor would you recommend? I said, my malpractice insurance doesn't cover slander, so I can't help you with that. It only protects me from screwing around with you. So I did date a lot of doctors, like I said. I even dated a psychiatrist. It was great. I finally discovered just how tough that leather couch was in his office. But then the rumors started in my hospital. Oh, did you hear? Jorjja's finally seen a psychiatrist. How many employee reviews did she have to go through before she agreed that she needs a therapist? I was like, you know what? I said to my boyfriend, I said, we gotta break up. I'm gonna have to see you outside of work. That means go through his office, have my date with him, and go out the fire escape. Now, how many people have ever been to a therapist or psychiatrist? Don't have to raise your hand. I can tell by looking at you. I can see your facial expressions. When you go to the psychiatrist, the waiting room is always empty. But the guy's making a fortune. He's got the highest rent. He's the penthouse apartment in Manhattan. Where is all the patients? They're climbing out the back fire escape to get into their car and drive away. Because it's a stigma, just like employee assistance program. They want you to know you can have it, but they don't want you to use it. Imagine trying to say to my therapist, you know, I really believe you're trying to help me, but I think you're going to tell my manager that I feel like I don't know what I'm doing, and then I'm going to get fired. So I'm stigmatized in that way. I want to believe in the system, but I don't believe the system. You can't help it. EAP. In my hospital, EAP meant eat another pizza. Okay? We can't staff the unit, but we can feed you. All right. You spent a fortune at Gino's Pizzeria. In 2020, you could have had another nurse hired position. I work per diem. I would come in with no benefits just to help myself because, you know, there's no time. There's literally no time to eat. So one day I was off. I'm in my uniform off. I go to the employee cafeteria. I'm sitting there eating and enjoying myself. 90 minutes eating lunch. Two people walk over to me. Hey, lady, nurse, you've been having lunch for 90 minutes. What's going on here? I said, first of all, I'm in a union. Okay, so talk to my belly. And secondly, I'm taking yesterday's 30-minute lunch, adding it today's 30-minute lunch, and God knows what tomorrow's going to look like, so I take it all today. Well, this is what they teach you at the hospital. They don't teach you this in nursing school. In nursing school, they say, keep your home life home and keep your work life at work. Yeah, right, okay. That's why there's EAP, psychiatry, and even have online therapy, as someone mentioned before. It's called HIMSS. You can go on HIMSS. Can I go on HIMSS if I'm a hers? Because there's hers and HIMSS. I said, no, just make it they. All right, I'll just sign up for they. I'm just one of the HIMSS or the hers. I don't know what I am, actually. I'm going off my set. So I told my coworkers, I'm going to retire. Oh my God, Jorjja, you're retiring? What do you want for your retirement gift? I said something in a leopard print. Okay. You know what? This goes with everything, I have to say. And it fits in every pocket I have. That's why I wear these baby pants. You never know what you're going to find in here. And they say, Jorjja, did you take the vaccine? Well, I retired just in the midst of COVID. I got COVID twice. So I say I have natural immunity. I'm telling you, and I'm not naturally defiant. I'm not taking the vaccine. But now they say, you don't really have to wear a mask. Just wear it if you want to. So I said, well, you know what? If I wear this mask, I know for sure that nobody's going to want to try to get close to me. And then I'll say, you know what? I'm really a psychiatric nurse. And this is what we're told to wear so we can blend in with everyone. And when you work on psych, you're not allowed to wear your uniform because the patients get upset. And they're afraid of their authoritarian look. They're being labeled. I'm chasing them with a medication. I'm taking their medication. I'm having the best time of my life. Who cares about them? You know what happens when people are schizophrenic or they're telling stories? When you medicate them, they're boring. Jorjja, come back tomorrow. The patients are really enjoying it. Yeah, they're telling stories. I'm sitting next to them going, what happened next? Oh, you know, that really happened. That happened on the way to the hospital. Jorjja, I don't know what's going on here. The medications are working a lot better when you're here. And also take them home and then I can sell them on the black market. I mean, shit. Yeah, you want something to feel better? Well, it's not really one of the controlled substances. It's just something to help you feel good. Then they said, you know, Jorjja, get off the floor. You're driving. It's really not working for you. I said, you know, I love working in the psychiatric hospital. I even took a job in the food service department where I served soup to nuts. Oh, come on. You know what's going on. So my coworkers say, Jorjja, what are you doing now that you're retired? Oh, I'm doing stand-up. How can you get on stage and tell jokes in front of strangers? Hey, I've been giving enemas to strangers for 35 years. Okay? So, at least now, you're looking at me expecting something from me. But I was behind you expecting something from you. So I think I've come full circle. Do you know what I'm saying? Talking about age early, I'm not going to say how old I am. I'm old enough to do this and that. And I do get the discount. Because the cashier is 25 and she thinks anybody over 40 is a senior citizen, so don't give yourself away. But I'll tell you one thing, when people say, boy, you look young for your age, what do you have to say about that? I said, I divorced the wrong man at the right time. Yeah. That's my time, thank you.
Thanks, Jorjja. That was great. Well, that's the end of the show. If you want to see previous episodes of the Staten Island Comedy Show, go to my YouTube channel, Nevin Cummings Comedy, and please subscribe. Also visit my website, nevincummingscomedy.tv. Bye. See you on the next show.